Hello once again, everybody. We are here on Gelvin Valley for Farming Simulator 15. Wonderful map made by Wild Wes. And unfortunately at the moment we are dealing with fog, which will have with us another hour and 14 minutes. But such is life. Trying to work our way through the fields, giving them a roll, taking care of the little rocks, pounding them into the soil. Looks like there's one we missed kind of on that pass down there. And trying to get our fields ready for planting. So we'll take this as far as we can, and then there will be some of the rocks we're going to have to come back here and pick up by hand. Although, I am going to attempt to smash this one. Got it. Yeah, it's a Lewis grip that I put on a roller to take care of the rocks. I think I described it in one of the episodes. Although there's been so many episodes, I can't remember which one. Past couple episodes, I've been boring people with some of the short stories that I wrote as a kid that were based on stories my father told me. And I just remembered something that I wanted to share. 2 episodes ago, I told a story about a go-kart race. And, you know, lots of kids have go-karts when they're growing up. We did. And so it really resonated with me. But I know I'm certainly not the only one. And I remembered I've tried to watch as many Gelvin Valley uh, videos that people share on YouTube. You know something? That looks a little bit. Why is it so wide? I wonder if it's because I'm on a hill. I'm gonna have to narrow that down a piece. Oh, let me. Oh, I'll reset it. That's still not quite. There we go. How about that? Maybe I'll get just a little bit off there. Let me try a slightly different angle. Yeah, maybe that'll work. Sorry, just trying to make it so I actually cover all the area. Looks like I'm skipping a little bit down there. But anyway, there's been a number of people that have had series on Gelvin Valley. Um, and maybe what I should do when I post this video, if I can remember or think of it, is to give links to the YouTubers who have, you know, made YouTube series or videos on this particular map. But one of them, related to the story with go-karts in particular, was David Oldfield. I don't know if anybody's ever seen his channel. He will do series on maps. I think he lives in the UK. I don't know if he does it anymore. This was back right on the cusp of Farm Sim 17 coming out. I think he did a series on Gelvin Valley. Um, but anyway, his second episode, as I recall, he discovered on the map that, and I'd forgotten about this when I was relating the story, there is actually a go-kart track. So if a person used this in multiplayer setting, you know, you could get a go-kart. And I mean, just hold on a sec here. I actually looked to see if there was a mod for go-karts, and I think there is. I just did a Google search on it, and sure enough, there's a couple go-karts. So I suppose a person could download these and go give the track a go. And maybe I'll get this up here to the field. I'll just tab over there real quick um, so we can go see it. It's kind of clear off in the, I believe it's the southeast corner of the map. I never knew the thing was even there until David Oldfield pointed it out. And he actually took the time. I think he basically said once he learned that, it was like, oh, forget the farming. We're gonna go, we're gonna go check out this track. And it actually is a thoughtful track. So let me just get this kind of down and get it ready. And I'm gonna hop out of the tractor We'll use our handy teleport, and like I say, I think it's down here. Yeah, let's go take a flight. I don't know what we're going to be able to see kind of in the fog, but I guess you would come in. I guess there's the entrance kind of off the road, got flags out front. You know, there happens to be some, what is that? There's some crop growing in the middle of the parking lot. Maybe that's intended to be weeds. But here's a track lined with hay bales. We'll just kind of take a little flight around it here. And I think, you know, I'll get back down to, sorry if this messes with anybody's vertigo. I think you can move these. Yeah, I got the push mod in here. So it'll let you, they're dynamic objects, so you can kind of shove them if you want, or if you hit them at the go-kart, you know, they will move out of your way. You can tangle with them, but I believe they are map dynamic objects. So when you save your game and come back, it isn't going to remember where all those objects were placed, and it'll set them back up kind of in the order that you had them in the map. So I'm not very good at flying here. My friend Atomic 67 is much better at this sort of thing, so maybe I'll just cut it off at the pass here. Kind of head around this tree. Kind of twists around here. So I mean, those are some tight corners to go around. And I'm not much of a racing guy, but you know it's pretty cool that he took time to put something like this in the map. Nelly's Disco? Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Some kind of reader board in the map. So it's a fairly simple track. It isn't overly long. Again, I'll kind of cut this off at the pass here and head on down. I think it heads a little bit lower yet, as we see. Down to the right is a placeable area. More hay bales. Keep people on the track. Then another tight hairpin corner. And we're back here to the starting area. But I guess what's kind of neat is not only that he put a feature like this into the map, but it's functional. You could literally come on here, and I don't know if it'll let me as I come down here open the gate, but I think you can, yeah, just let you drive right through it. But you could, with a friend, a multiplayer, bring a couple go-karts in here and have a heyday just running a race on this little track. And it's one of those things that a mapper can do to build in realism to their map. And I better get back to my tractor here while I still have time. The clock is ticking on use of this roller. Wow, I am tearing up this field. Oh goodness. So, let me see here. No? No, I guess I'm okay. For some reason I thought I was taking it out grass. But I guess I'm not. But like I say, it's one of those things that a good mapper will incorporate into the map, and the ones that are pros at it really shows. You know, when someone pretty much all maps, for example, will have some kind of a town in it. I mean, you kind of gotta have a town, which is a place where the farmer can sell his goods and that kind of thing. So most maps will have a town built in, but you can tell just by looking at it typically just how real it appears. And some of these guys are much better at it than others. But beyond the town, ooh, I was close and knocked over my drink right onto my keyboard. Good thing I had the cap on, huh? But a lot of times there'll be other details that these guys will put in a map, you know, like a go-kart track, that you wouldn't have to do. I mean, and like I say, it even took a while before I even noticed that it was up there, and it wasn't until I even helped test the map and I didn't know it was up there. Probably because it doesn't have really any farming type purpose, if you will. So it's easily ignored. You don't have to do anything with it. Come on, tractor. Oh, I wish I could just I think my tractor needs some steroids to give it some bigger muscles. If I lift and lower the roller, will that help me get up the hill? Oh, good grief. It just doesn't have a punch there, but we got rid of the rock. Look at that. It just doesn't have the needed punch, I don't think, to pull this. And like I mentioned in another video, I probably should do a little bit more modding on this roller. It seems to me it pulls way too hard from what it would in real life. Although, I mean, these rollers tend to be pretty hefty, big, heavy, because, you know, if you're going to be doing things like pounding rocks into the ground with it, it needs to have some heft to it so that it's able to do that. But a lot of times, from what I remember on the farm, we didn't pull a roller with the tractor all by itself. The roller typically would come, you know, maybe behind a planter or maybe ahead of it, depending on how rough the soil was and how much you needed to break up, you know, before the planting process happened. But I was thinking, like I say, I'm going to try to mark this down. I don't remember what episode number this is. I almost think this is episode 54. And I don't know how many of these people have suffered through. By the time this plays, it's probably already summer's past and in the fall. Although I'm kind of recording it here in July. Depending on my work schedule is kind of dictates how I'm able to record or not. So when I have opportunity, I'm trying to put a few away and put them in the bank and take my time as I release them. But if you have listened to all of them so far, well, you're either sick in the head because you're listening to someone like me, and I'm not sure there's any help for someone like you, or you're really a tenacious person that is going to finish something to the bitter end, whatever it is, even if it's listening to some kind of silly series on an old farming game. But maybe one of the things I'll try to do, I keep getting distracted from the point, is to put when I post this on the internet, to give links to other YouTubers that have made series on Gelvin Valley. One of those, I mean, probably the first and my favorite one on Gelvin Valley to watch was the one by Atomic 67. And he did, I kind of think, I mean, I don't know if you'll listen to this one, maybe you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he did 17 episodes on Gelvin Valley. And also, if I'm not mistaken, it was his longest running series. I know he and I have talked a few times. We both really, really enjoyed this map. There's just something about it that's you know, that's pleasant to be on. He just did a bang-up job of making it, and so he spent a lot of time on it. I have too, and maybe, I mean, I don't speak for Atomic 67, but that was early on in his YouTube ventures, so maybe he used the map to kind of create some videos to, you know, learn YouTube, if you will, kind of some of the tips and tricks, and used it as a vehicle to do some learning, kind of like I've used one particular map, which will be kind of on another series, also for Farm Sim 15, called Glen Ellie, and it was kind of my gateway map getting into Farming Sim 15, and to me that's the default map. I mean, I know it isn't the default map in actuality, but to me it is, because that's the one that I played on, that I was introduced to, and it's kind of ironic. You know, it's, if you look on the internet, you won't find Glen Ellie anywhere, I don't think. I don't think it ever was released, broadly distributed. It never was placed on FSUK, so therefore all these other copycat mod sites, you know, didn't grab it and put it somewhere. So none of that happened. For a while, the map author, Farmer Yip, he offered it kind of on his own little website. But then he kind of left the farming sim world and eventually closed his website down, and so the map is flat out not available anymore. I think I had the presence of mind to save the original, but I've done a ton of things to it, and most of it was to learn how to mod. I mean, anybody wanting to learn how to mod is going to need a vehicle for doing so, and for anything related to maps and whatnot, I chose to do that with Glen Ellie on 15. And most of the stuff that I learned there, most, maybe most, a lot of stuff I learned there was, applicable on maps clear from the 15 to 19, maybe even into 22. Each iteration of the game, the Giants keep adding more functionality to the editor. The water looks kind of weird in the fog. Must be how it reflects it. Anyway, we're going to head up the hill to... Oh my word, this thing can't even hardly pull this thing up the hill. Am I damaged? No. This thing is hardly damaged at all. And look at the... I dialed it way back. I like having a few repairs to do, but I don't like when you just barely nick something or accidentally run over a pedestrian that, you get dinged for a whole bunch of repair bills. And these, yeah. We'll just leave it at that. So I think it's flatter in here. That could be why I'm speeding up. An all-bore tractor, not only can't it pull it in the field, it can't hardly even pull it down the road. Oops, stay on the left side. Gotta remember you're in EDK. I know I've had so many episodes on here, and I've done pretty well staying in the left lane. I'm half worried that in real life, when I get in my car, I'm going to be in the wrong lane, and first thing... Anyway, probably not a real worry, but it is what it is. So, my friend Atomic, like I was saying, he had a series on Gelvin Valley, and I guess one of the things that tickled my funny bone about it, I mean, he went all out. He treated it as a role play, which is way funner than, all the stuff I'm doing in here, where I'm just kind of, to borrow his term, chewing the fat. uh, yeah, I wouldn't even call it that. I mean, it's just the dribble of an old man talking while he plays, this silly game. That's kind of my style, but Atomic 67 did role play and told stories while he was doing it, and I think I've teased him about this before. He starts it off, I think the context of the story, and I'll have to put a link in so you can go listen to it yourself, is about an American who comes over to, what does he do? Does he inherit his grandfather's property that's over in Gelvin Valley, or was it his uncle? Anyway, the guy passed away, and the guy's name just so happened to be Aiden. So this was early on in our relationship, and he even he takes the player. There is I think there's a church and a graveyard somewhere on this map. Uh, maybe up in, is it in the town at the top, somewhere up there? Yeah, I think it's somewhere up there below the farm shop, wherever. So he takes the viewer up there, strolls through the graveyard. I think he maybe even made a headstone that had my name on it. So there it is. Thank you very much, Atomic 67. You buried me from there, and then the episodes took off. So, all in good fun. I really enjoyed listening to his series, and he kind of took it out with a bang. I don't remember everything that he did in there. Some of it was introducing the player to various mods and so forth, and into various features of the map. I think his style was a little bit different. I think he maybe started with more money so he could buy some of the better equipment and what have you. He was able to afford, or he just gave himself some of the better fields. The flat ones, of course, which you can do more stuff in. And And so he did a number of things, showcasing some mods and what have you. But then he took the series out kind of with a bang. And this is a mod, honestly, I would like to try to do a little more with modding wise, because the idea just fascinates me. He created in here a forest fire, and I think he was part of volunteer firemen or whatever that went and helped put it out. And it must have taken him a ton of time to put together the episode. Again, I don't remember. I've watched it more than once, seeing how he did it, but I don't remember the details. But what I do know is there is a mod that shows flames on the map. And, oh, what in the world am I doing? I'm not paying attention to my driving. Here's a big old rock now that's kind of tangled up in my equipment here. Let me see if I can get around this. Ooh, do I have the wherewithal to drag it up the hill? I'm not sure I do. Let me get out. This is a big enough. Look how incredibly steep this is. I got this beast of a rock. I get down here. Will it let me? Maybe if I kneel. Come on, let me grab it. I got this push mod in here, trying to see if I can push on it, but it's probably pushing on. Yeah, I don't think probably need to try to remove the tractor and get it out of the area. Maybe I'll try this. There we go. I can try to move it just a little bit here. Come on. Come on here. I wish I could see the crosshairs. Is that something I can do in the escape menu? Show icons. Maybe there's another mod that would allow me to show crosshairs. I'd like to see where the position of the hands are. In 17, you could take an object like this, and you could pick it up with your hands and toss it. But in Farm Sim 15, we didn't have that ability, so all we had was the ability to shoosh rocks or shoosh objects a little bit by hand, just using the push mod. So if I had a front end loader, I could probably push this into the front end loader. So it isn't perfect, but it's all that we have basically for rock handling. It's one reason that I also made another script to pick up these rocks automatically and land them in a trailer. I have a special trailer to do that. So I think I have moved it. Oh, there's our trusty sheep. Follows us wherever we go. It came tromping clear across the map to come down here to do this. Oh, I know what's going on. I know. Let me hit J. I was still kind of flying high. Kind of tangled with the fence down there. Trying to get up and around this. No, I didn't notice a rock coming out, but this is some of the obstacles we would have in real life, how to work around things like this that would come up in the field. We'll leave it there so we can come by and pick it up later. Hopefully we can see better, when that time comes. Can't really tell on my bar up there if it's kind of static. We're trying to change. Alright, get up the hill here. So anyways, I was saying Atomic series on Gelvin Valley had ended with a forest fire, and this particular mod that he must have installed into the map it looked like fire. It was animated so you could see the flames kind of moving, and he spread it out over kind of a large area, and it indeed looked like the whole place was on fire. And he had a couple mods, helicopters, I believe, that had water in them. And he took them out and drove them over the fire, flew them over the fire to go put these things out. And of course, the game is limited, so and I don't know if this mod, it seems like a guy could take a trigger and put it on the fire, and then if you're able to haul water to it, you could squirt the water on it or whatever, and it would fill the trigger and, quote, put the fire out, if you will. But I don't know if the mod is literally set up that way. I think most commonly, if you see the flames or fire, it's kind of set up in this nice, neat little campfire type setting, if you will. But it was pretty impressive that Atomic chose to show a forest fire in there. So in the story, the hero, um, took care of the fire. And actually, you know what? I'm mistaken on that. That was the end of the main series, if you will. But the literal last episode, as I recall, maybe Atomic was remembering, the Stonehenge Hill up here. And I think when we were up there in an earlier episode, if you go in amongst all those rocks, that circle of rocks, it plays some spooky music, that kind of sounds like aliens are close by or whatever. So um, maybe it was kind of playing on that. I think he had some aliens visit Gelvin Valley. Like I say, you'll have to check out a link. I'll leave it in the description, or I will try to. Um, like I say, I'm recording this now. I'm not sure when it'll come out. It'll be probably a month or two ahead, so I'll need to remember to put that in the description. But he just did an awesome job. Definitely worth a listen. Others that have tackled Gelvin Valley, one is the map author himself, Wild Wild Wes. I think I already have a link to his channel, and he doesn't have a specific playlist, I don't think, for uh, Gelvin Valley in particular, but if you open his channel, you can search for his Gelvin Valley videos. Just type in Gelvin and they'll show up. His videos tend to be fairly long for the most part, and he doesn't offer commentary on them, so you can kind of see. In some ways, they're instructive. I've listened to all of them and just watched him farm in them a little bit. In some ways, it's instructive because you can kind of see how he intended the map to be played. It's always interesting to know how the map author intended it, and maybe I should be following his example. I mean, he wasn't going broke, when he was playing the game. And he was selling hogs and cattle, maybe. So some of the episodes, I mean, he was making a goodly amount of silage, to create feed for his animals, and he was hauling them off to market up to where you can hear the auctioneer going on. So he has, I don't know, maybe there's 10, 15 episodes, something like that. I mentioned a little bit ago, David Oldfield had a series on it. I almost think his episode count was over 20, but I don't remember. I've listened to most of them, I think. And there's been a couple others. One I haven't finished. He's an Irish gentleman, um, an Irish kid maybe, and I don't think I finished his. And there's a couple others. I'd have to look them up. I'll try, like I say, to link them up so you can go check them out if you want. It's an old game. It's an old map in some ways, but pretty cool. I wish it would have been able to attract more visibility back when it came out. I mean, it's a good map. So who knows? Maybe somebody out there is willing to dust off their old games and go take another look at something that would have occupied their time back in the day with this old map. Now, that looks like a rock right there, don't it? Ah ha ha, got it. I don't know why the first time when it came over here uh, it didn't crunch that thing into the soil, but at least we got it this time. That other rock over there, we ran over him last time. Looks like he kind of sank on the hill a little bit. I don't think we're... Oh, there's another one. I didn't even see it. But cracking right along here on Stonehenge Hill. You know, I'm pretty sure I have over 50 episodes now on this. I don't know where this is going to end. You know, at some level, I'll probably quit tormenting people with episodes. Maybe when I get the crop in, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just continue to enjoy the map. I guess I will as long as I have time or what have you. But I know I'd be curious, what is the longest series you've seen any YouTuber do on a particular map? Now, I think one of the people I've mentioned on these videos before is that I've enjoyed listening to because of his storytelling is Reefy 1952. I almost think he had one that a series that went on 150 episodes. Is that Old Ridge Farm? Maybe if he's listening to this, he'll correct me. That's a lot of episodes. Oh, cool! That rock made it through. Managed to smash it under, but it didn't. It jammed into the soil. But is there anybody else out there that you're aware of that was so enamored with a map that they had more than 150 episodes on it? And in Reefy's episodes, I mean, they're generous too. Mine, I try to keep it half an hour, and I see now I'm over for this one here. But his sometimes, I think that they're at least 45 minutes, maybe even an hour or more sometimes. So that's a lot of time that he put into that particular map. So it's 150 longer episodes than what I have even. But if anybody knows of a series out there that's just gone on and on, I don't know, I'd be curious to know about it. Like I say, I'm always interested in the thoughts of others about what they enjoy about the game, and shoot, if it's a map that they really enjoyed, you know, maybe it's something I would enjoy too. So anyway, if you have an opportunity, give it a thought. But I think I'm gonna call the episode there, and because I see we're at the end of a half an hour. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate that. Hope you have a great day, morning, night, whatever it is, wherever you're at, and an awesome day tomorrow. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.